Coach, rebounding from that San Antonio Spurs game, what do you want to see differently out of your squad tonight?
Oh, I think we got to play not really more conservative. I just think we've got to try to hit singles instead of grand slam home runs. I think we're trying to make too many great plays. It's not the amount of turnovers we have. I think it's the timing of the turnovers, and I think we've got to eliminate that. And then we got to do a little bit better job of defensively keeping guys out of the paint. I think our defense is compromised so many times by the dribble penetration that teams have had, so we got to do a better job with that.
How do you play defensively more like you did the second half of that game?
Well, I just think we got to be a little more aggressive, and I think we've got to play better team defense in general. I don't think it's one individual thing. I just think team defensively, our rotation's got to be a little better, and our tags and then our recovery's got to be a little better. We just got to play a little bit better.
Did you like also the energy of the defense in the second half? Was that part of it of playing better, that they just seemed like they would?
Yeah, I think so. I thought we did a little more flying around than we did the first half, and when you play a team like San Antonio, they're not going to beat themselves, so you have to be solid in what we're doing. And as I said, I thought we were a little bit too loose with the ball.
How's AD's elbow?
Way to jump in there. Yeah. No, I think it's going to be okay. Obviously he's still got a little pain there, and we'll see. But I think he's fine.
We talked to Alfred today. He seems like he's optimistic that he's making good progress. I mean, you feel like you're hopeful that we'll be able to see him somewhat.
Maybe one of the two home games that we play, I'm not real sure, but the swelling has to completely go away before you can be optimistic about anything. I think he's getting a lot better, but like I said, it's not anything that we're gonna rush him to get back in. You guys have no questions. You guys are the nicest people in the world here. There's got to be something that's not nice about you guys. We come in, the police are nice, the security people are nice, the media is nice. What is it? The only person that's not nice is when we play against Westbrook when we walk on the court. Okay.
When you come in here, you still want to play your pace, or do you?
Yeah, we do. I don't think we changed the way we play against anyone. The thing I think you got to be aware of with these guys is that the last couple of years they've led the league in steals, and they do a really good job. They're a handsy team. They get their hand on a lot of deflections, and that leads to turnovers. And obviously, when you turn the ball over against this team, and you got Russell Westbrook on a 2-on-1 or a 3-on-2 situation, usually doesn't turn out well for you.
Look, you and the Thunder, both of y'all's teams are among the top teams in fouls per game. I mean, have you seen that as sort of an adjusting to the new rules and how that's been going so far?
I think everybody's going to have to adjust to it, but I think they will. The officials have really done a good job, of just calling it early so that you can adjust early, I think, but it's one of those deals where I think it's helped the game because I think it's helped the freedom of movement, and I don't think there's a lot of grabbing and holding and wrestling going on, and I don't think that's the way basketball was meant to be played. So I think because of the rules always been there. It's just I think they much more aware of it, and I think because of that, there's much more flow offensively in the league.
How do you think that those new rules are going to affect guys who kind of make their living on defense? We used to in the past.
They got to play without grabbing and holding. They got to play without grabbing and holding. And the good defensive players are still going to be the good defensive players. It's just going to be an adjustment to their game. I think and this is something that really probably should have been done years ago because I thought it got to the extreme and the league felt like they had to do something about it. And I think you see the flow of the game much better now. I think the scoring is up, mainly because I think teams are playing with more pace in general, and there's not the grabbing and holding, so your offense flows a lot better, I think.
Alvin, do you kind of see when they changed the hand-checking rules and the offense?
Yeah, a little bit. I think a lot like that. I think it's very similar. I think it's very similar to, the no hand-checking rule. I just think you got to give guys the freedom of movement, and just the wrestling, I thought cosmetically didn't look good for our game either. So I think fans want to see guys, their ability to score, and I think they want to do it without, it being a wrestling match. So I think it's a good rule. I mean, it's a good point of emphasis, I think. The rule was always there.
Do you think that acceptance of those, the way it's being called now, is universal, or do you think there are teams in this league that are like, yeah, we liked it the old way?
Oh, I think there's a lot of teams that liked it the old way. You know, I bet you got a guy here that likes it the old way. I'm not calling any names, okay? Because he's an elite defender. So, you know, I mean, obviously, I think if it could stay the same, he would be much appreciative of that. But he's going to be a great defender anyway. That's what he does, you know.
Alvin, a lot of good big men in the league, young big men in the league right now. How have you seen Steven Adams change over the last few years, and what challenge does he present to you guys?
Well, I think I like him because he's really old school if you think about it. You know, he's a big guy that, you know, rebounds the basketball, rolls to the basket hard, good defender, gets his hands on a lot of balls, believe it or not, you know, as far as deflections. And, you know, he is who he is, and he really hadn't tried to change that at all. And it's really effective, you know, so I don't think there's any reason for him to, or why he would ever change anyway, you know.
Why has Mirotic been so much better this season?
Well, part of it is I think we've even played with more pace than we did last year, and I think, you know, he's a guy that can spread the floor and he can make shots, and he's a much better rebounder than that we even anticipated, and he's a much better defender than we anticipated. So just overall, and being in training camp for, you know, he came in the middle of the year, and I think that's a tough adjustment for anyone, but just being in training camp for the season, I think, also helped. All right, thank you. Really nice people here.